Okay, Kent's going to talk about the things that we're going to be doing in the home office to basically monitor the tasks that you're required to do.
Just to continue what Roy's saying about the task that he just outlined, we have a scorecard that some of you may be aware of and some of you may not if you're not involved heavily into the program. But we evaluate each month each of those criteria for how you're doing. The first one is the overall schedule plan. As he said, we'll make sure you're following the plan that we've all come together on early on and developed in terms of how we're going to build the job, A, B, C, D, Z, Y, X, C, whatever. And in that evaluation process, if you happen to all of a sudden just on your own decide to go the opposite direction of what the plan shows, there could be penalties involved because you're going out and not really following the plan that we all come together and agree to, all the subs bought into. So we'll make sure everybody's following the same plan. Typically speaking, I'm not seeing anybody lose points for this. Across the board, our jobs do a good job of following the plan that we all come up with collaboratively as a team. So next is the payment application process. And we put a big emphasis on that, actually 35 points worth. And the first item, basically just timeliness. Were you able to turn in the update form filled out by the data date of your job, just so that it's a timely process. We're not waiting on you and you're not waiting on us. It's sort of a joint effort there. 5 points worth. Accuracy. We give that 10 points, 2 items that fall into that. First one is all the information included. That means for when you turn in your first update form, we want to make sure that you've done what Johnny mentioned. You filled in the actual start, actual finish dates, the percent completes, and the remaining durations. Either leave it the same, reduce it some amount that you feel is appropriate. We'll make sure you include all that. And it says here, no exceptions. And if we hold a hard and fast rule, if you miss one duration or 1% complete, we would chop you 5. We all know that in an update form, it's thick, a lot of items to update. If you miss a few here or there, that's human error. We all understand that. But you can kind of tell if somebody just blatantly ignores the entire thing and just ignores one part of the process. So that's where that deduction might take place, either 1 point, 2 points, whatever. But the second part of it is basically even if using the correct update form. So in some cases in the past, we've had people use an Excel spreadsheet, try to use something different than our form, and it just bogs us all down because we can't interpret what you're trying to say. If we all have the same process back and forth, we're all jiving together, so it helps. So make sure we use the correct update form. Completeness. It may sound like it's the same as accuracy, but the completeness deals with in terms of how many results, iterations you provide us. The first one, we hope you've covered it all and gathered all the information together in one pass. However, if you get back the first results from Johnny and see that you've missed 4 or 5 activities, that's fine. We understand that. Or if you want to make further adjustments on your schedule, you can in terms of duration, etc. Then we send out the second set. After the second set of results are turned back to you, if you continue to nickel and dime, for lack of a better term, with durations, add another activity I've missed on progress, and we go back and forth 3 or 4 more times, that's where penalties will be incurred because we feel like after 2 runs, after 2 passes of your update, you should be able to update accurately. We want to make sure it's as streamlined as possible and that we get back to you the information you need from Johnny. Now, also keep in mind too, if you have, excuse me, logic changes or we need to reevaluate the schedule, that's independent of this. This just deals with the actual update progress portion, not anything related to changing logic. That's something separate, and there's no penalty in that. That's just good schedule maintenance. The last portion of this part of the form deals with the construction executive review. We want to make sure that he or she is involved as well. For instance, the first part has 5 points worth. Did the CE review the pencil update? Typically, most folks, when they email the update form to Johnny and me, will typically copy the construction executive. So therefore, he has a chance to look at it. He can give his feedback to you and or me and say, hey, check on this. Why aren't we updating this activity? It's a way for another set of eyes to keep it from something being missed. Second part of that is during the review process and when the results going back and forth, we're also copying the CE on those results, and we're hoping that we want him to also chime in and say, okay, I approve of this of these results. I agree with 0 float or minus 25 or whatever it may be, and the dollar value looks good. We got a good billing for the month. We'll make sure he's got buy-in, because ultimately it's a three-pronged process. It's the scheduler, project team, and the executive. We want to have a round-robin, complete, good communication. We're a team, so we want to make sure that the update is good and that we're presenting the right thing to the owner. So that's what that entails. The next portion is the 4-week schedules, as Roy's already talked about. Evaluation-wise, all we ask is that you provide what you're using to us in the given month, from January 1st to January 31st. As long as you provide us a copy of your form that you're using, and it's signed, it has to be signed by both the project manager and superintendent. That indicates that they're reviewing it, they're buying into it. It has their support for execution purposes. So if you provide that, you've got your points. It's pretty much all or nothing. If you don't turn it in, it's a big chunk of points that's taken away. The wall schedule, same thing. As long as you have it visually shown in your trailer like you do here, you get your 10 points. Very simple and straightforward. The last portion kind of captures everything like he was saying about if you're doing all this, it helps you do this portion, which is project progress. And the way this is calculated for 25 points worth, 0.83 points per day will be taken away for any negative float. That includes any owner delay, rain delay, Caddell delay. The reason is we want to keep it straightforward and simple and just take it across the board. And where you get your points back or you get made whole is when you get that modification back and that time is added back to the contract. That next month, let's say you're at negative 26, you get a mod for 13 days. I'm going to add back. The next month I'll take away the 26, but add 13 back. So you actually get points back on that. So there's a give and take there. So it helps you through the modification price be made whole and the points come back to you in the next month. Other points about this project progress is usually when we go negative, we look at ways of correcting the negative float either through a recovery schedule or maintenance. We want to make sure if we do those kind of things, if we ask the painter can he do it in 5 instead of 10 days, did we get his buy-in? We don't want to make changes just for the sake of making changes, just to reduce our number and kind of inflate or deflate the number just for our own purposes. We want to make sure it's accurate, so we want buy-in from all the subs and or anybody else who's involved. Same thing for recovery schedules.